Hey guys, it's Joey from Clash Video Productions again. I'm gonna make this video kind of brief here, but I'm kind of coming to you on a serious note here, and I really hate to do videos like this, even though I've done it quite a bit recently. When I was at Suffolk the other night, rail fitting with my buddies this past Thursday, I suffered another seizure, and it was of course not the worst that I've ever had, but it was a seizure, which means that my driving restriction has in fact been extended again. And anyway, if you saw my 227 NS227 meets O2E video, you'll notice that I did not narrate at the end of the video. That is because by the time I hit stop, I was in the seizure. So anyway, my buddies Greg, Bob, and Barry, they didn't see me having the seizure. They were down at the N&W station where we always park. I was down at East Washington Street at the 4 Quadrant crossing by the Mini Mart, and of course there were a bunch of cars parked over near where I was, and they couldn't see me. And anyway, I was kind of half conscious at that point while I was having the seizure. I was kind of with it. I was kind of not with it. But I remember I heard this guy yelling, "Hey, buddy, you all right?" like that, and I couldn't answer him. And then the next thing I heard was, "That guy's having a seizure." And then, I mean, this is what I was told. Obviously, I was kind of out of it, but I was later told by the same guy that came to check on me later on that he ran inside and the convenience store instead of the Mini Mart, the Citgo, and called 911. The police and paramedics arrived, and I don't know if you can see because the scab disappeared when I came out of the shower, but I had a scab here, and I got a scrape here, and I fell on my butt too, because I tried to get up several times while I was having the seizure. If you have seizures, do not try to do that. You will get very banged up, and it's not worth it, trust me. So anyways, so yeah, I was under a lot of stress that day. I'm not going to go into details about it because it's personal and all, but I had a very stressful day, more so than usual. But anyway, it just wasn't the best day, and stress, I think, caused that. And also I almost witnessed a train and car collision, and I think the stress from that also contributed to it, but I think it was mostly what happened earlier that was mostly the cause. But anyways, I'm not gonna, like I said, go into detail with that. And anyway, so next thing I know, the police and the Suffolk police and the paramedics showed up. They were asking me if I was alright, and did I need a trip to the hospital, and blah blah blah, and they checked my blood pressure and all that. And I explained to them that it was nice for them to offer to take me to the hospital, but I've had 26 other seizures and medical attention wasn't necessary. And then the guy that called 911 showed up, and he came back. He said, "Man, I just had to come back and check on you, because I'm a real people person, and I hated to see you going through that, I had to come check on you." And I told him, I said, "Well, thank you so much, I said, you don't know what it means to me, I said, I appreciate you, taking care of me, because, I said, I'm sure it freaked you out, because you didn't know what the hell was going on and everything." So, Anyway, he said, yeah, man, you scared me to death. I said, well, I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that. I said, and he came back, and so he told me have a nice night, and I told him you too, and thanked him again. And one of the cops looked at me and said, he said, there still are some good people in the world. And I just cracked a grin, and I said, I never doubted that there was. And anyway, and the cops and the paramedics also asked me if I had a they had asked me before I needed medical attention. They asked me if I had a history of seizures or epilepsy, and I told them yes. I've been dealing with seizures since 2007. I said I started having them my senior year of high school, right before I turned 18, and this was my 27th one, and they were like, oh good God, like that. And I said, yeah. I said, you know, I said, I don't like it, but you know, the only thing I can do is just take it one day at a time, you know. So, in short, the no driving has been extended. I have to rely on people to take me rail fanning and other places for even longer. And who knows what's going to happen. So, anyway, but that's what happened to this watch here. You'll notice that it's all scratched up and all. That's from hitting the ground so many times. That's why it got all scratched up. Like I said, this mineral glass is real cheap. That's why I went ahead and got the protection on the new one here. That way it won't get banged up so bad in case something like that happens again. Which hopefully it won't. But I thought that the one in July was going to be the last one, but I also thought that the other 26 times, and so far I've been proven wrong all those other times. So I don't know. But the good news is that I know that I've been gone from rail fanning for a while. That I went over well, not over a month, but almost a month without rail fanning. The good news is I am going the first part of November, and hopefully the last part of November as well. So I'm not going to be gone as long. As far as my December trips, I don't know about them. I'm usually pretty busy through December because that's the month of Christmas, and so I don't know about that, but I'm hoping maybe to squeeze in maybe I mean, I know I'm planning on going rail fanning on the 7th, and maybe I know I'm planning on going rail fanning the 7th, and maybe rail fanning the 7th, and what am I trying to say? I'm going rail fanning on the 7th of November and the day after Thanksgiving. That much I do know. As far as anything in between, I don't know about that. If I'm lucky to get a day off, there is a chance that I could squeeze something in between. Other than that, I don't know. Good news is I'm not going to be gone as long. So I've had to slow down on the rail fanning trips, and I haven't done that by choice. There's been a lot of stuff going on as of late. The not being able to drive thing being one of them, and also I've been working so much, mostly on weekends, so that hasn't helped a whole lot either. But anyway, after my seizure, Barry and Greg came up when they saw the paramedics to see what was going on, and Barry looked at me. He said, "You all right, son?" And I told him, I said, "Yeah, I'm fine." I said, but I'm banged up pretty bad. And the next day I was supposed to work, and my mom and I, I said I wasn't going to go into insane amount of detail, but she and I had gotten into a pretty big disagreement later in the day, which I think is probably one of the things that caused the seizure. So she hadn't been talking, to me, because she was kind of pissed at me. So I went ahead and I called my grandmother after the seizure, and I told her, I call her Mama. That's what we've always called her. I said, Mama, I said, I know my mom's not talking to me, but I need you to call her. I've had a seizure. I know that she's still pissed at me, and I understand that, but I need for you to tell her that I've had a seizure. I fell several times. I've never been in this much pain in my life. But I want you to let her know that I'm okay, but I'm in pain, and that everything's gonna be alright. And she sounded like she kind of got choked up, and I told her, I said, don't start crying. It's not gonna, change the fact that I've had a seizure. I said, I know it's upsetting, but don't cry. It'll be fine. And anyway, so Greg took me to my grandparents' place, which is kind of halfway between Suffolk and where I live. And he came in and visited for a little bit. And anyway, I was supposed to work the next day. And I gotta tell you, I was in so much pain. I mean, I fell, like I said on here, I fell on my knee and I fell on my butt too. And I could barely make it from the den to the kitchen without being in excruciating pain. And I told my mom, I said, Mom, if I can't make it from the den to the kitchen without being in this much pain, there's no way in hell I can make it to work today. I gotta call in sick. I can't do it. I can't freaking do it. And she said, I agree, you need to rest today. And so I called Farm Fresh, and they were real nice. They were understanding. And so that was that. Next day I went into work, and I was still in a little bit of pain, but I made it. And I think with each day that comes, I'm healing a little bit more. I've always healed fast. I mean, that's how it's been. But anyway, the fact that it's going to be that much longer till I drive again is sinking in, and it just sucks so bad. But maybe if I chill out, maybe and not sweat the small stuff so much, maybe I would lower my chances of having a seizure. So anyway, that's all I got. And my next rail fanning video should be November 8th or 9th. I'm going on the 7th, so they should be uploaded on the 8th or 9th. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for listening and watching, and stay safe at those tracks. Oh, and one other thing, I'm going to pass this on. If you go to Crewe, Virginia, do not rail fan at the west end of Crewe Yard. Few of my friends got chased off from there despite the fact that they were on public property. NS called not just the Crewe Police Department, but the Nottoway County Police Department, and they threw their weight around and ran off a whole bunch of my friends, and my friends are very, very pissed about it. So I'm not going to bother talking to them tonight, because I imagine they're probably still very heated about that. But anyway, if you get a Crewe, just don't rail fan there, because Norfolk Southern doesn't want you there. They're very picky about that, apparently. So anyway, I just wanted to pass that on so y'all don't get in trouble if you happen to visit Crewe. So anyway, that's all I got. Have a good night.